So we have another terrific guest here from the Clinton Global Initiatives meeting here happening in New York during Climate Week NYC. And please, could you tell us who you are and where you're from?
Sure. Delighted to be here. I'm Lena Staafgard. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Better Cotton. We're the world's largest cotton sustainability initiative. We work with almost 3 million farmers around the world to help them grow their cotton in a climate-smart and sustainable way. And we work across the supply chain, engaging the private sector, the suppliers, the manufacturers, and the retailers to make sure that the cotton goes into the product we wear.
That's amazing, because we know cotton is a really big issue, and it has been for some time right now. And whether it's a water issue, or whether it's the use of chemicals and things like that, or cotton simply grown in the wrong place. How are these farmers adapting, or give an example of, say, a cotton farmer that you work with? How is it different now to how they were doing things before?
So the difference would be, and we work with them across environmental, social, and economic aspects of cotton production. So they will be reducing their pesticide inputs because we train them on how to use beneficial insects, for example, and how to understand when to use pesticide in a responsible way and which ones to use, so the less hazardous ones. And then we provide training on decent work and child labor, working with the communities to make sure that the children on a family farm may help out, like I help out at home when I was a child, but we work away from child labor and make sure that the children go to school, get their education, and create their own life, ultimately. So those are some of the differences we see on the farms.
I have to ask you one thing, because I found it fascinating. We're doing a mini-series at the moment on fossil fuel subsidies, and we did one the other day on the issue of plastics and fossil fuel subsidies, of course plastics being made from fossil fuels. And one of the people that was talking about fast fashion and saying that one of the consequences of fast fashion and the use of plastics in fast fashion is that in some parts of the world it's actually affecting the cotton growers, because for the big companies it's just easy to work with plastic, which of course is terrible because we don't want fast fashion to be all plastic, right? So do you think by supporting the cotton farmers towards sustainability, you can give them a new dynamic that could, in a sense, reduce the reliance on plastics in fast fashion?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the cotton that the farmers grow come with a sustainability story.
Yeah.
And we work directly with the communities, so we can also create community-level stories. So consumers and the retailers and brands can get a closer connection to the raw materials in the products. Yeah. And of course, as you said, there's been challenges with cotton production, like with all agriculture, but ultimately it's renewable, right? Yeah. It can be sustainable, and the farmers are on the journey towards sustainability.
Yeah, super. Okay, everyone's here to make a commitment. So what commitment are you announcing here today?
We're announcing a commitment to include the smallholder farmers in new financing mechanisms, essentially. We're building a traceability platform. To date, no one really knows who grew their cotton. We will provide that traceability. And then on top of that, we will look to develop an carbon insetting mechanism. Quite technical, but that means that we would work with the retailers and brands for them to reward and fund climate mitigation activities in their own supply chain. Because through the traceability, they will know who grew their cotton. Right. And we can trace up, like carbon credit, who grew it, and then there can be financial reward going straight back to the farmer for the efforts they're making. Most of the initiatives we have today on kind of impact investment and carbon credits and so on exclude smallholders because they're just not very bankable. And we're looking to change that because without the smallholders, millions and millions of them, there's no cotton, essentially.
Great. And of course that brings the smallholder farmers around the world into the whole concept of what they call Scope 3 emissions, doesn't it? So it means the companies can manage their Scope 3 emissions in a far more interesting way by bringing in the smallholder farmers. That's really interesting. I do hope then that maybe then we'll start seeing some of these smallholders on our lovely cotton, sustainably cotton jeans, and we know where that cotton came from, say, Bangladesh or something, and it was sustainable. That's great. Climate change. We did want to ask about this. Do you think it's solvable? Do you think we can solve climate change? Are you an optimist?
I am an optimist. I mean, it's a steep challenge. We're facing it head on, I think, with the farmers that we're working with. I think agriculture has a really important role to play, and we're very far from optimizing the opportunities of climate change mitigation with the farmers. I mean, they're the ones that will have to adapt the most, but there's a lot of mitigation that can be done there. And we have a partner network already in 23 countries. We have 2,500 members. We have implementing partners kind of working with the farmers around the world, and we reach 3 million farmers and the communities that they're in. So we think there is a solution. We just need to kind of get going together. And of course, this is a collaboration to get this done. But I think we can do it.
Yes, good. We can do it. We're going to do it, right?
Yeah.
We can't not do it.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. And I think that issue of the farming, you're quite right. I mean, renewable energy is doubling every 3.5 years. That's really great news, yeah. But when it comes to agriculture and land and things like this, it's still way behind the curve. So this is where you see a real opportunity to help the world meet the climate change challenge through smallholder farmers. I think that's a very good point. Okay, and we don't have time. We don't just do interviews. We also have 75 million social engagement every month with about 75,000 companies and institutions and organizations on our platform. And one way in which they interact is people who are part of the platform can give, say, climate warning to somebody they think is doing the wrong thing, a company or an institution or a government or whatever. But they can also give climate love to somebody they think is doing a good job, or somebody who, or an organization they think is actually making a difference in the world. Now, the question would be, who would you give your climate love to on the WeDon'tHaveTime.org platform? Now, you can hold the climate love. It's a green heart. Do you have any organization or person in mind?
I would give it to the smallholder farmers.
Yeah?
They're at the heart, and at the end, they're individuals. It's families farming cotton. That's their livelihoods. It's our clothes, our bed sheets, our towels, and they do a great job. And every day they wake up, they tend to the farm, they try to do it better, and they deserve a lot of our climate love and a lot of our attention, I think.
Okay, all right. Well, look, thank you for being here, and best of luck with your work. And I hope that when we come back and maybe talk to you in a year or two's time, that it'll be double the number of smallholder farmers that you're working with, and that the finance is really flowing into these communities and where it's really needed.
I'm sure it will be. Yeah. I hope so too.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.